2024 has been a terrible year for sneakers. But if you're a fan of those things, let's talk about the 10 best releases that came out this year. Before we get into it, for those of you who are new, I'm Malcolm. This channel is all about sneakers, how to improve your style, and everything in between. So if that's your vibe, make sure to like and subscribe. Slight bars, starting off with number 10. A common theme this year has been bringing sneakers back from the vault, and the Nike collaboration with Pata on the Air Max Chlorophyll at number 10 is a prime example of that. A very simple shoe. I'm not the biggest Air Max guy, but the 20th anniversary edition of this is an instant banger. Detail-wise, there's a Nike and Pata branding around the shoe, and it comes with a limited edition box. But outside of that, it's everything you come to love with the Air Max 1. So if you're a fan of that, you'll definitely love these. It's not higher on the list because it's not anything new. They're just really bringing back something that was already good. And in my opinion, for something to quantify a sneaker of the year, there has to be something new or a drastic change. This is just a solid shoe all around. And honestly, if you can get it for near retail, which is probably impossible by now, it's an instant cop. When number 9 originally dropped, there was only 36 pairs in existence, which is crazy. And if you know what I'm talking about, then you know the Tang Dunk is a legendary shoe for sneakerheads and rap fans alike. Everybody's saying the Dunk wave is dead. You know what? It's on the downward trend for now, but honestly, I think Dunks are a timeless shoe, and the Wu-Tang release is definitely helping the Dunk's chance to revival. In a legendary black and yellow colorway with the Wu branding on the ankle, this shoe is really, really good, man. Once again, it's not anything crazy, and it may not be everybody's favorite, but just for the actual story about it being 36 pairs to it being re-released now and readily available, and the true fans who love Wu-Tang and who love Dunks can get it. Dunks have been low quality the last couple of years, and the Dunk market honestly is trending downwards. But it's a timeless silhouette, and this Wu-Tang iteration is a prime example of a great colorway and really, really good materials. In hand, these shoes go crazy, super supple, and honestly, for what it's worth, probably one of the best Dunks I actually own in my collection. And I even have some off-white iterations too, and this is on par with them. Look, I saw your Spotify Wrapped and I saw your Apple Replay, and I know you've been listening to this artist. But did you know he has a sneaker collaboration with Adidas on a legendary silhouette? And if you didn't know, I'm talking about Bad Bunny, Bonito. He dropped a couple of bangers this year, and honestly, they're amazing. When it comes to wearability, this is easily one of the most versatile shoes on this list. I'm talking about the Adidas and Bad Bunny collaboration on the Gazelle. And it's pretty much just a beefed up Gazelle, kind of more skater-esque. Has double tongues, a wider toe box, as well as premium materials all around. All in all, great release, readily available. These do sell out pretty quick because the fan base for this is crazy. Regardless if it's fans of reggaeton, Latin music, or just Adidas Gazelles in general, these things fly, and understandably so. Thankfully, I managed to get the white colorway for retail, but believe me, I'm still looking for that Cali colorway every single day to scoop up to. This might get this video demonetized, but have you read this? Action Bronson is definitely a man of many talents, and that belief is definitely strengthened by the releases he had this year with New Balance on the 1906. They go crazy, but specifically, I'm talking about the Rosewater release. Very spring, very vibrant, and honestly, a super comfortable shoe. There's this colorway, there's also a blue colorway and a Scorpius colorway too, which I believe is yellow. That was hard to get. But all in all, you can't go wrong with any of these three because they're just a really, really wearable shoe. Maybe not in terms of the weather we're having now, but when it comes to spring, if you're looking for comfort, versatility, and just a really, really cool rollout. Lately, he's been big into the running and fitness space, which is cool, and he's releasing other iterations of actual New Balance fitness gear. So if you're a runner or a fitness enthusiast, this is definitely a shoe that you should have on your list. And I know I'm gonna get some flack for this, and people are gonna ask, how did this shoe not make top 5? But trust me, it's been a hard decision process, but there's a method behind the madness. At number 6, we have BMX All-Star Nigel Sylvester's collaboration with Jordan Brand on the Jordan 4 RM Grandma's Driveway. Crazy green colorway, extremely limited release, really, really cool rollout. It actually has a grandma featured in it. Honestly, man, this is one of the coolest shoes I've seen in a little while. The unfortunate thing is, and this is gonna sound crazy when I say it, I think they just put too many versions of it out too soon. Nike has a habit of collaborating with somebody to pump a release or a model, put it up front, i.e. this shoe, or example, the Air Max 95 that was stashed and just dropped, and there's gonna be a bunch of 95s dropping next year. And then they just bring all the general releases to follow suit. Problem is, if it's not a super strong model, then it's not that enticing just to see it that often. I think they should spread it out a little bit. Pause. With that being said, this Jordan 4RM is definitely a breath of fresh air on a legendary model. The Jordan 4 is definitely one of my favorite Jordan silhouettes. I would say it's number 2 for me, with the Jordan 1 being number 1, obviously. And it's cool to see them kind of chop the top and put a new story behind it and make it more rugged. But how do y'all feel about it? Do you like when they take a OG model and kind of tweak it, and I mean really tweak it to give you something new? or would you rather just stick to the classics? Number 5 is for all the hoopers, and this shoe's gotta be on everybody's list. In basketball terms, this would be barbecue chicken.
I apologize. I'm not familiar with the barbecue chicken expression. I was just wondering what you meant by that.
You can look it up on Urban Dictionary.
I'm talking about the AE1 or the Anthony Edwards 1 by Adidas. This shoe, man, is really something special, and I gotta give a round of applause to Adidas because it's been a long time since they released a performance shoe that's taken the world by storm. I think it's because they chose AE. He's such a dynamic guy, and he's really just cool, man. Like the commercials, the rollout, the colorways, the fit of these on court, everything is congruent with who he is as a player and a person. So obviously it's gonna be a great iteration and a great release. Detail-wise, not much to say other than it's just a really sleek looking shoe. I am interested to see how they build upon this with the successor, because the second version of a collaboration is always harder than the first. Interested to see what Adidas and AE have up next up their sleeve, but for now, this is a solid pick at number 5. This is the first year in a long time where I haven't had a Jordan 1 as one of my top 10 sneakers of the year, but honestly, number 4 is close enough. I am talking about the Jumpman Jack, which is a collaboration between Travis Scott and Jordan on a new silhouette. Obviously, you're gonna have the Travis Scott colorway in the brown, cream, and gum. That's a no-brainer. But the silhouette itself is more training-oriented, which I do like. First impression-wise, it really got me to say, wow, was the amount of detail that went into the unboxing experience. The bag, the paper, the laces, just the feel of the shoe. That's the thing, when you're paying a premium price for a product, you want it to feel premium, and this shoe definitely does that. This is something I've seen on feet a lot of times now, so it's good to see a little bit of variation between all of his recent collaborations. Jordan 1's always gonna be kind of a gimme, but I do love the fact that he's trying something new, even though it's in the same colorways. When it comes to collaborations, number 3 on this list is a prime example of if you had a group project and everybody did their part. I am talking about the Kids of Immigrants collaboration with Nike on the Thunder Max. 2 colorways, they both go crazy. The details on these shoes go crazy. And being a kid of an immigrant myself, it really is near and dear to my heart in terms of the whole storytelling and what it stands for overall. But honestly, man, it's just a really great product. Like, it brings me joy to see the sneaker games in a place where you can have a lesser known brand or lesser known group collaborate with a huge conglomerate such as Nike and make something that is just a real head turner. If I had to choose, there's I think the Persian Sun colorway, as well as the purple colorway. The purple colorway is insanity, and this is the prime example of a shoe where you can really see the details, with the lines that go across the shoe actually representing the latitude of different places, I believe. This is one of the ones, man. You're definitely gonna see me try to pick these up early 2025 if I can find them for the right price, because these shoes would go crazy when the warm weather comes, and Sunders are underrated. I have the Gore-Tex pair, which I actually used on my trip to Peru, which are waterproof, so super, super useful, but these are an all-time grail for sure. Now, what I'm about to ask you is gonna sound crazy, but would you ever buy the same thing 7 times? Well, for number 2 on this list, that's exactly what I would do. I'm talking about the legendary Air Jordan 3 Black Cement. And honestly, this release got a lot of flack. People were talking about quality control, people were talking about availability. At the end of the day, when something is a universal truth, you gotta have to buy it. This shoe is one of the most important Air Jordans of all time. It's a super wearable colorway and one of my favorite models of all time when it comes to Jordans. For me, all those 3 things signify that this is a must cop no matter how many times it drops. People were probably gonna say it's a boring shoe, and I get that, I understand, but it's one of those shoes where if you're starting off with a new collection or you have hundreds of pairs and you're looking to get something that just really you're gonna wear on a daily basis, this is that shoe. Given that there's no innovation and it's just a re-release, it could never be number 1 in my opinion, so that's why it's at the number 2 spot. And before we get into number 1, the best sneaker of the year, here are a couple of honorable mentions. So without further ado, I'm gonna need you to drum roll on your desk for dramatic effect. The number 1 sneaker of 2024, to me, is a collaboration between Futura and Nike on a Nike SB Dunk Low. These things are just a work of art. And honestly, when it comes to skating, I know 2 things: how to pop shove it and how to ollie. But that doesn't matter. I'm a fan of the art, I'm a fan of Futura, I'm a fan of Nike, and I'm a fan of just really cool shit. And this is an amalgamation of all of these. So funny thing about this shoe, there's actually 2 versions. There was a friends and family colorway, as well as a general release version. And to me, the general release version looks just that much better. I had to pay resale for this. I think I paid $200 above retail. And honestly, I do not regret it, because when I first saw this shoe, it's one of those ones where, kind of surreal. Like, something looks really good online, and then when you get it in person, you're like, yeah, it's chill, it's chill. When I unboxed these, I was like, yo, these things go crazy. Really good quality. Blue is one of my favorite colors, so the colorway obviously is a go. If I can have any critique about it, and this is just being really nitpicky, I'm not the hugest fan of the SB Dunk lows, given the type of pants I wear in terms of bagginess, but that's just being if I had to choose something. All in all, this shoe's a 10 out of 10, and I guarantee it's gonna be on everybody's list. Maybe not at number 1, but it's definitely gonna be there for sure. So 2024 was a great year for sneakers, man. If you're a fan of sneakers, this was the year for you. Selling wise, it was kind of rough because the market's kind of on a decline, because everything else is being re-released again and again, week after week. And 2025 is probably gonna be a similar story. But that means for someone like you and I, who have loved the game when it comes to sneakers, it's gonna be another great year coming up. Let me know what y'all think. What were your top 3 sneakers that released this year, and what did I miss on my list? Let me know and sound off below. And as always, I hope you have a great holiday season, and I'll catch you in the new year. And I really do mean that, like no more of that, I'll catch you in the new year. Like I'll actually catch you in the new year. New vid dropping soon. Catch you in a bit, yeah? Peace.